Hello Leo, this is your astrological and card forecast for the week of October 24th, 2016. And hello to you Leo Moon and Leo Rising people as well. A quick reminder for you guys, some folks have been asking questions about how to get readings. You do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or follow the links below if you did want to schedule a session with me. You schedule your appointment during checkout, or you can order a downloadable video file there, but I can't schedule a session through YouTube. Some folks have been asking through YouTube. But also, at the same time, guys, if you did want to get a downloadable video file instead of doing an appointment, those are things you can keep on your computer, so that's always something to think about. So what is going on with your astrology this week, Leo? Well, this week we've got Venus, the planet of love and harmony and affection, in your 5th house of love and romance, forming an odd square to Neptune, currently in your 8th house of intimacy. And this week we've got to be able to pay attention to where a fantasy regarding an intimate encounter in our romantic lives, or maybe a priority in our romantic lives, might be getting too much priority. Okay, and sometimes that happens, sometimes people put way too much emphasis in one thing to the detriment of other things. So, what is too important? We must ask ourselves and, our relationships this week. We might find out that, what if sex is too important? Like, all the emotional currency goes there, but what about the rest? Or maybe it's not sex that's most important. Maybe people are just taking things too personally in other ways. Maybe money is too important. Maybe social activity is too important. Maybe something as, simple as PDA is too important to some people. We've got to find out what's taken out of proportion in that area, because, between Tuesday and Wednesday, there might be something that should only be a certain part of the pie chart being treated like the whole pie chart in this relationship or in this new coupling, and that is an imbalance. On the on the Thursday, we do have Mercury, the planet of communication and information and haste, forming a gorgeous connection to the Sun, currently in your 4th house of home and family. And this week, also because we're coming up on the heels of a new moon in this area as well, is great for those of you who are looking to make a physical move. This might be the week where you sign a lease, put down a deposit, decide to make a down payment or accept an offer on the purchase or sale of a property. This is also excellent for those of you who are actually looking to maybe boost or draw attention to a home-based business operation. Because this week, between Thursday and Sunday, Mercury, the Sun, and this new moon, they're not messing around. So if you are trying to get something like that finally going, get the let out with this, with these priorities, this is the week you're going to see, again, a lot more people, not only more responsive, but a lot more quick to act on your requests and your initiative. So, what is going on with the Leo cards this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, Leo, we do have the card of Soul Kin. And Soul Kin, this is all about paying attention to, I guess you could say, our karma, our karmic ties, and generational karma. And this could actually very much literally have to do with, your family, your ancestry. There could be a lot that comes to light this week about generational issues, whether they be emotional, behavioral, or even biological, that are actually kind of passed through your family lines. Solutions and causes of, different challenges and different hurdles in your life may actually be kind of a family tradition of sorts. And this week it's going to be very important to be able to actually recognize that, because we may actually find out that, Uncle so-and-so or Grandma or whatever had kind of the same issue. And it could be an opportunity for you to look at repetitious generational patterns in everyday life to kind of also get a cheat sheet for how to solve these problems as well. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we have the Devil card upright. Be so careful this week when it comes to biting off on a temptation that is just that, because the Devil card upright can talk about feeling sort of a peer pressure to invest time, money, energy into something that, you know, is purely shallow, superficial, and not necessarily a worthy investment. Because the Devil card upright can talk about a job opportunity, or again a financial opportunity or a career opportunity that is sort of tempting us by pushing our buttons, pushing on our insecurities, you know, whether it's our insecurities about our finances, our performance, or our recognition. And usually the devil in this case, there really is not a payoff there. And I would be very careful about focusing too much on things like instant gratification and peer pressure at the office, because I think that with the devil card, again, our buttons are being pushed, and that's how you get played. So I want you to be careful about that. The best way to stop your buttons from being pushed is to not have buttons to push, but the next best way to deal with that is to not present your buttons at all. For your communications with air when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we do have the Wheel of Fortune inverted. And this card can actually indicate a friend or a relative reaching out to you for some kind of help, some kind of assistance, and we might not necessarily... I'm kind of feeling like... I mean, this isn't really coming from the card, this is just something that's kind of coming to me with this one. Kind of feels like this is not somebody you're on the best of terms with. We might be kind of like polite, you know, party face good terms with this person. So we're wondering why they're reaching out to you. But the Wheel of Fortune inverted is saying, like, this could be like maybe a former friend or a frenemy or a, you know, or a former colleague or something along those lines, reaching out, trying to reconnect. Or you may be watching them also trying to reconnect with people that you feel are close, whether they're, you know, close friends or even close rivals, because you can have close rivals too. Just be on the lookout and see what this person is really up to. I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune inverted, they're trying to dig themselves out of a hole while pretending like there is no hole at all. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Knight of Swords inverted. And this card really does need to, you know, we need to kind of look at this here. We're probably going to be having to deal with, you know, again, this is all about other people, it seems, this week. Most likely an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, or somebody with a heavy amount of air in their chart and in their mannerisms, who has just kind of decided to lose the plot, so to speak. You know, this person is definitely a little bit off their rocker. And typically with the challenge with the Knight of Swords inverted is how to adequately, you know, contain the situation. Because the Knight of Swords inverted, it talks about inarticulate anger. It talks about inarticulate outbursts. And sometimes trying to get somebody to open up when they can't even explain their initial grievance makes things worse. Some people get angrier because they can't actually articulate their feelings. So we've got to find another way to contain this person. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Eight of Pentacles upright. Beautiful card for those of you who are looking for love. You may actually find love on the job or on their job, if that also actually could be, that could be also a meeting opportunity for you, because the Eight of Pentacles does talk about bonding through another endeavor, or meeting through another endeavor. This is talking about an opportunity for love where both people aren't showing up to this particular instance for love. And I think that with the Eight of Pentacles, this could be a great way to start off a friendship and actually kind of build on that initial chemistry without having that sort of awkwardness of, well, we both showed up on this date practically blind to each other. In fact, with the Eight of Pentacles, for those of you who are currently coupled, it is talking about you and your partner needing to bond over something that is not strictly related to your intimate life and to your romantic life. Something else, you know. It's always great to have an extra activity, whether it's rock climbing, playing tennis, you know, music, whatever you're trying to do or perform together. That's where we need to be focusing our romantic opportunities this week and our energy there. Let's take it away from just dating and let's go into doing. So that is your forecast, Leo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session with me, you can always go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or follow the links below. You can follow the links below in the description bar. I'll talk to you later.